of social workers. One of her favorite quote is, "Effective therapy is about a number of things: experience, expertise, a clear diagnosis, concise goals, and certain tools to effectively navigate difficult life issues. But most importantly, effective therapy begins with recognizing that change needs to happen and that change starts with you." Our second speaker is Demitrius Manley. Demitrius graduated from the University of Houston Graduate College of Social Work. She is a licensed clinical dependency counselor and a licensed clinical social worker specializing in trauma and relationship counseling. Her mission is to assist individuals, groups, and communities with combating the message of trauma and finding their authentic identity. Demetrius is in private practice in the Southwest Houston area. As part of our mental wealth and wellness activity this month, I also wanted to remind you of the mental health resources that are provided by the firm. The firm has a free and confidential employee assistance program. Also, Confident Connections, which is a peer mentoring among Foley employees that help people navigate life's challenges on a more peer-to-peer basis. And of course, if you just want something just a little lighter, something just to get started, or something to help, we also have the firm. The firm also has a subscription to the Calm app, and all of its advanced features are free. Please feel free to enjoy it. Music, meditation, sleep studies, and mental fitness activities. So I want to be mindful of everyone's time, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to our speakers.
How everybody doing? We asked that a lot of people wear their green. Who have on green today? Nobody? That's okay. You have some green? All right. So, of course, May is the month of mental health awareness. And, as many of you know, a whole month, of course, is not really enough, for us to set aside to recognize this important issue. However, we do put we do set that month aside to bring awareness to mental health. And the whole purpose of it, though, is to make sure that people are aware of these type of issues that we face. Well, not only within ourselves, but with others, because we are, believe it or not, we are responsible for other people's mental health sometimes. And why do you think I say that? It's all about language. It's all about how we treat people, how we talk to people. And so therefore, sometimes we don't really know what life circumstances are for other people. And so when we come in and we talk to people differently, we're not really conscious of, what's going on with them or what's going on in their life. Sometimes that can impact, their mental health. What I would like to do is, after the presentation, we're going to have, I think Demitrius is probably going to do like a little exercise. We will ask that you participate in that. If you're not able to participate in that, we definitely understand. We also have several clinicians here who will be available to you after the presentation, and I'll let them introduce themselves to you.
Hi, my name is ShaDonna. I'm a licensed clinical social supervisor and a licensed clinical dependency counselor at Santa Maria Hospital. My area of expertise is based on motivation interviewing, substance use counseling, cognitive behavior therapy, solution-focused therapy, and overall empowerment.
Thank you, Yolanda. Matt?
I am Matt. I'm a licensed master social worker. So I too will be available after the presentation. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Eva Wells. I'm a licensed master of social work as well, and we'll be here available to help you guys. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Sharon?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Sharon Eda. I'm also a licensed master social
So our focus today is to give you some tools that will help you promote acceptance and compassion surrounding mental health issues. But before we get started, I know you guys are eating, but we would like to kind of do a icebreaker if you guys are okay with that. Y'all want to participate in that right quick? Let's do an icebreaker right quick. Then we can continue finish eating, okay? So if you're okay with it, are you able to stand up for me? You guys able to stand up and get in front of the tables for me? Everyone get in front of the tables. Now the way this icebreaker works, is we have a ball here, okay? We're gonna throw this ball, and when the music stops, whoever's left holding this ball, you're gonna answer the question on your right thumb, okay? If there's not a question on your right thumb, you're gonna answer the question on your left thumb, okay? All right, you guys ready? I want you to introduce yourself though to me. Let me know where you're working, okay? All right. All right, right now.
Okay, morning or night? In regards to what? Just life?
Morning person?
I guess night.
Night, okay. You're a night person?
More or less.
Maybe depend on the weekend. If it's the weekend, it's nice. Maybe if it's days, it just depends. Okay, all right.
Oh, what is your all-time favorite television show? ER.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Playing volleyball.
I know my next one is the block. Which one's my right? Describe your perfect sandwich. Wow, that really fits me. My perfect sandwich would be a panini on, usually an Italian sourdough loaf. Here we go. Sorry. This is the cook over here.
This a cook?
I would like roast beef on it, along with a tad bit of
She gives us all recipes. Okay.
horseradish mustard.
I'm hungry.
I'm sorry.
Okay, what's your name?
I'm Lisa.
Lisa, what department you work in?
I work in litigation.
Okay, so if ever you get hungry, go to Lisa's department. She's in
They
litigation.
already know that.
Oh, they already know it. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, perfect. Let's go.
Ask someone to smile with you for 3 seconds.
Who are you?
I'm Tanya, I'm in litigation.
All right, Tanya.
Someone over there.
So what is your all-time favorite television show? Gosh, that's. Let's see. I mean, that's just.
Oh my God, I love that show. I was looking for the other guy.
I'm not gonna. I just. I just
You can't think of it? Okay, what's the question on your left thumb?
Let's see. What accomplishment are you most proud of? Oh, I think it's probably my grandkids.
All right, her grandkids. Captain Johnson, nice to have you. It's Dr. Harris.
What is the best gift you've ever received?
Oh.
The best gift you've ever received.
I guess when I was 16, a car.
Oh.
Who are you and where you work at?
Okay, all right.
That's all you.
What is your all-time favorite sport? Sports person. But probably volleyball.
Volleyball, okay.
Who are you when you work
What's your
at?
name?
Oh, Amy.
Amy, litigation, okay.
I'm in that way again.
Let's see. What accomplishment are you most proud of? Come on. Just being like
All right.
Who are you when you work at?
That's you.
Oh, you got me in the
I got you.
Oh, I got the morning or night job, Michael, in business law as well.
Are you a morning or night person, Michael?
I would say more morning.
Morning.
Person, yeah.
What's your left thumb?
What's your
What's your
Oh,
left
my
thumb?
left thumb, okay, well, if you had one wish, what would it be? Oh, my goodness.
Come on.
Just continue, staying in good health.
Staying in good health. All right. Okay, one more. Let's do one more.
One more. Give somebody that.
Oh, there you go. All right, let's start with you.
Okay, my right thumb, what is your all-time favorite television show? I have no idea. Any of the housewives?
Who are you
Not have
when you
seen
work
that,
at?
okay? Didn't
Who
see
are
that
you when
one.
you work at?
Oh, my name's Juliet, and I work in, pricing.
Crazy, okay, all right. Now, who did not go? Who did not go?
Maria didn't go.
Okay, if you did not go, step up, step up. Everyone else can step back. If you went already,
Oh, we can go from
if you went already, you can have a seat. I want the ones that did not go.
I kept catching it.
You guys did not go. Okay, let's do it.
Oh, we do it again?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's move it closer. Oh, there you go, Holly.
My favorite restaurant is Cane's.
Oh, I like Canes too. I like Canes too.
And who
All
are
right.
you where you work at?
Holly, I work in IP and litigation.
IP and litigation, welcome.
All right.
I just gonna stop it on me. Here we go. Right?
It doesn't matter where they live.
Describe your favorite pet.
Oh, pet.
Golden doodle.
A golden doodle.
Who are you
Okay,
where you
where you
work
from?
at?
My name is Maria Ramos, and I work in the hospitality department.
Okay, all right. Oh, whoever had it before you, this you go. You guys can sit down if you already had the ball.
We should just ask them.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Ooh, chocolate or vanilla? Vanilla.
And who are you?
Alright. What's your name?
Anel in litigation.
Okay.
Okay, all right, where's my
You
thumb?
can have a seat.
Sunrise or sunset? I like when, sunset, I guess.
Sunset, okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. What's
I'm
your name?
Teresa, I'm in Billy.
Billy. All
Hi,
right.
Teresa.
There you go.
Okay.
Alright. All-time favorite television show, I think I like Seinfeld.
Something.
All right. And who are you?
Stop and litigation.
Side litigation.
Is it right or left, right?
It-
And one thing that motivates you, I guess my family motivates me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Miss Kathy.
Very good. Now, because you were the very last.
No, this one, she didn't go.
No. Because you were the last.
It's okay.
Because you were the last one, then you didn't get a prize right there. You didn't know what you want.
How about the tissue? All right. You want to get started? Yes. Okay. Let's do a couple of giveaway, right? All right, so we're gonna do 2 more giveaways for you guys, and then Demitrius is gonna speak to you. Also, too, on your table, you have some fuzzy sticks. See those fuzzy sticks? I want everyone to get a fuzzy stick throughout the presentation. I want you to kind of make whatever you want to make with that fuzzy stick. You want to get 1 fuzzy stick or 2, and then you also want to get a marble. There should be a marble inside that basket. Please hand one over to our peers, and they'll have them. Okay? We'll do a giveaway right quick. You want to keep the names on this? Abbott. Your name got picked. You can come and get a gift. Want to get it later?
Sure, I'll get it.
Okay, he's gonna get it later. Let's get one more.
Come on, Kathy. Good name.
Kathy Johnson.
Oh,
All
there's
right. Okay, you wanna get it later? Okay, so she'll get it. We'll hold on to these right here. Okay, Demetrius, ready?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Y'all gonna have to do better than that. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
All right, that's more like it. Thank you for inviting us to participate in your annual Mental Health Month. Thank you so much for the invitation. Today, I would like to talk to you about canceling the self-critic. But before I get started, I would like for us to kind of like reflect on what we've been going through the last 2 years, around the world and, in the States. As it relates to COVID, what we went through during the COVID pandemic. We experienced a lot of loss. We were isolated, alone by ourselves. And one thing that COVID allowed us to do was to sit in our stuff. We didn't have the opportunity to go club, drink. DoorDash helped us out with that. And we can probably blame that for the increase in alcoholism. But we didn't have the normal distractions. We had to be at home in our stuff. And as we were at home in our stuff, you got, it's quiet. Things to a certain degree internally quiet, right? And when things become quiet, you begin to hear and you begin to recall and you begin to remember stuff from your childhood, right? We begin to replay how we don't measure up. We're not thin enough, we're not thick enough, we're just not enough. We begin to hear that. And that's what we encountered during the pandemic. And then when everyone came out, they let you know that they were not working on healing while they were at home. Okay, they're angry. The drivers are angrier now. We have to watch out and leave a space for people to. We have to be social workers. All of us have to be social workers on the road as we interact with people. We don't know who we're dealing with. We can't just go off on people because people are fragile mentally. So that says that our mental health is important, and we cannot ignore our mental health for ourselves, for our families, and also even for our community. I'm concerned about how a person take care of themselves when I walk in the store. Because I don't know if they got a gun or they're gonna shoot the store up. I don't know how angry they are about life or about, anything. We just don't know. So that means that whether we like it or not, your mental health affects me and my mental health affects you, right? So when we walk in the store with someone or we come to work with someone, we want to know that the person on the side of us is taking care of themselves, right? Okay, we want to know that. But during COVID, we didn't know how to really navigate all of that negative self-talk and criticism. So this is going to be an interactive kind of presentation. And I kind of want to just hear, first let me say this, whatever is said in here, stays in here.
So if you have a colleague that is willing to be open and to communicate what they experienced during the pandemic or what a family member experienced during the pandemic, we're going to keep it quiet. And those of you that are watching online, if you hear anything that is expressed from your colleagues, we're going to keep that confidential if they're brave enough to share their inner experiences. Okay? So what type of critical messages did you hear about yourself, while you were in the pandemic? What type of negative self-talk? Or if you had, what was your self-talk in general? Because not everybody had negative self-talk. Some people was angry at the fact that this disease was controlling our life. And this disease ain't real, This disease is affecting the way that I communicate with my family. I can't talk to my family. And so when we dissect the anger, we understand that this was about a loss of what? A loss of what? Control. This is a loss of control. How do we respond when we are losing control? So what are your thoughts? What did you notice? If you don't want to talk about anything personal, just what did you notice about people's mental health during and after the pandemic? What did you notice?
Everyone was scared.
Yeah.
Frightened
Yes.
more than ever.
Yes.
A lot of people lost their minds on social media.
Yes, they did.
I ended up having to just block all these
Yes.
negative people.
Yes.
I couldn't deal with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else? What did you notice?
A lot of people had to stay at home with their children.
Oh.
They had to spend more time with those kids.
Yeah.
Realized they were missing out on a lot of stuff on their kids.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And what about those behaviors that the teachers that they didn't recognize before? But this is what the teachers are going through at school. So
They
yes.
don't get paid enough.
No, they don't. No, they don't. But our level of awareness about emotional and mental health and the importance of it is we are aware now, aren't we? Okay. And it used to be back in the day we used to be able to kind of like neglect it, but we suppress it here, we suppress it there, we eat on top of it, we drink on top of it, we smoke cocaine on top of it. If you're smoking cocaine, then that's crack, okay? Okay. But, do a couple lines on it and then, smoke marijuana, whatever, jump from relationship to relationship. But we do anything that we can do to avoid self. But we can't do it anymore, can we? Okay. So when you're forced in a position to have to deal with you, there is a couple of things that you can practice. It starts with RAIN, R-A-I-N. How do I navigate my own emotional energy? It's by practicing RAIN. Okay, so if you have your cell phones, I would like for you to look up a lady by the name of Tara Brach, T-A-R-A, last name B-R-A-C-H, the reign of self-compassion. So one way we silence the self-critic is by being compassionate towards self. Okay, what is self-compassion? Or what is compassion? What is anyone can step up.
Having empathy.
Yes, yes. Having empathy for oneself, okay?
I would also say self-care.
Self-care.
Practicing self-care on a daily basis.
Absolutely, absolutely. What else is self-compassion in your own words?
Forgiving yourself.
Forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself. How many of you hear your internal dialogue on a daily basis? Show of hands, you hear your internal dialogue. Okay. Show of hands, you do not hear what you say to yourself on a daily basis. Show of hands, you just don't hear it. Okay. A lot of people don't recognize their self-talk. When you're interacting with someone, what is your self-talk? With someone that you like, someone you don't like. What is your self-talk? Are you able to listen to what you're saying to yourself? When you make a mistake, are you able to hear what you're saying to yourself on a daily basis? What are some of the criticisms that we give ourselves when we make mistakes? What do we say? You're an idiot. And it's so painful to hear when you're interacting with someone and they say, oh, I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that? Or if they experience a heartbreak, why did I let him in my life? I saw all the signs that he was no good. I saw all the signs that she was just a gold digger, but I kept going on anyway, because she was attractive. Why didn't see the signs, So we tend to judge ourselves harshly for making mistakes. Oh, I'm stupid, or I was dumb for that, But instead of using self-criticism, why not use self-compassion? Why not look, check this out. if you spoke to your friends the way that you speak to yourself, would that relationship still be intact? How many of you lost friends because of the way you spoke to them? You know? So however you speak to self is how you speak to others, but you have to cultivate a lifestyle of self-compassion. Okay? So Tara Brock introduced us to rain. I wish I could claim this for my own, but I'm gonna give the sister credit. Okay. So the first thing she says is to first recognize. You want to recognize, well, when you're recognizing, what are you recognizing? What do you imagine? If you're recognizing, what are you looking for? You have to first recognize that something is going on and that you are in emotional pain. That's the first step. Well, how do we know we are in emotional pain? Well, our body speaks to us. Our body lets us know. We experience emotions through our body. So, for example, when you are anxious, what happens in your body when you are anxious? The heart races. You know, stomach. How many of you experience a churning in the stomach when you have anxiety, right? Sweaty hands and palpitations. You know, we go off into our body lets us know, right? You say your shoulders, okay? So our body let us know. So we have to be quiet enough to listen to what our body is communicating about our life, okay? And the body is also responding to what you're thinking. Okay, we can think ourselves to suicide. How many of you agree with that? How many of you have ever experienced depression in your lifetime? And when you experience depression, the thoughts that you have are very hopeless. If you meditate on hopeless things, you're going to walk away feeling depressed and suicidal. Okay, so we have to be aware of how our thinking affects our body and how it impacts our soul, our emotions, our life. There's CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, teaches us that what we think determines how we feel and how we act. And I heard my grandmother used to say, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You know? So we have to be aware. So the first step is to recognize what's happening in your body. Okay? So the next step is to allow the experience to be there. Okay? Once you notice that you're going in emotional pain, you don't have to suppress it. Just allow it to be. Allow it to be. Okay? And so you allow the experience to be there just as it is without trying to fix it or suppress it. So once we notice that there is emotional pain, what we tend to do, I got to find something to eat. I got to find something to drink. I got to find something to smoke. I got to find somebody to call. We get in trouble on the pain line, calling somebody that we know is going to reject us. Okay, so we try to find some kind of way to eliminate the emotion. But I would encourage you the next time that you begin to experience emotional pain, just allow it to be. You want to first recognize that something is going on. The next thing you will need to do is to allow the experience to be there. You're not wishing for the emotions to go away. You are validating and acknowledging that things are the way they are right now. When we suppress our emotions and feelings, that's a form of what? Invalidation. When you suppress how you feel, it's a form of invalidation. So you want to just acknowledge. We'll say, well, who wants to experience emotional pain? Well, you know what? It's there. As soon as you come down from that high, it's right there waiting on you saying, hello. You thought you got rid of me, but I'm back, Jack. And, you know, Billie Holiday said it like this. Good morning, heartache. Sit down. And I love that part of the song, you know, because she's saying, now, let's have a conversation. I'm not going to run from you anymore. Let's investigate. Why are you visiting me today? What can I learn from you today? What is it that emotional pain is trying to teach me about what I need? Because if we investigate emotions and become friendly towards our emotions, when we investigate them by asking loving, open-ended questions, emotions have something to teach us. But what kind of questions can we ask emotions? How many of you have ever questioned your emotions? Okay. Now you don't, attorneys, you don't question them like, you know, a hostile witness. You don't treat yourself like a hostile witness. You treat yourself as a friend. Like if a friend came and said, you know what, this is what I'm struggling with, how would you kindly investigate what they're going through? What kind of questions would you ask a friend who's struggling?
You might say, what can I do to help? I mean,
That's-
that's always the usual.
Okay, what can I do to help? Okay, that's a great question. What else can we ask a friend when they're struggling?
Do you want to talk about it?
Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to talk about it? But the questions that you're asking are friendly in nature, right? You don't tell your friend, well, you're stupid for feeling that way. Why are you feeling that way? That doesn't make any sense. So you want to have a friendly attitude towards your feelings. So you just allow the experience to be. And then you investigate with interest and care. Once you have recognized what you are experiencing, allow the experience to be there, ask open-ended questions, investigate with interest and care, become naturally curious about what you're experiencing as you would a friend. And so some questions you can ask your emotions is, how am I experiencing this emotion in my body? Okay. You can ask, what am I believing right now? Because negative emotions can be connected to a negative thought or a negative experience. Okay, how many of you have ever meditated or thought about a traumatic memory and your body began to respond? Okay, so there's a negative thought connected to the experience, right? So what am I thinking? When did I first experience this emotion in my lifetime? When did I first experience this emotion? So these are the questions that you would ask yourself. And this is kind of strange for some people because we're not accustomed to treating ourselves this way. We usually get this kind of questioning when we walk into a therapist's office. But self-compassion says, have compassion towards self and ask yourself these tender questions. Okay? What does this vulnerable place need from me? What is depression what is it trying to communicate about my life? What is it trying to say about my needs? What is anxiety trying to communicate about my needs? What do you think anxiety tries to communicate about your needs? Just ask that question for yourself. If you ever experienced anxiety, I want you to recall that experience that you had and just ask a simple question. What was anxiety trying to communicate to me about what I needed? I need to slow down. Yes. You need to change. Okay. What else was it communicating? Anyone else? What about when you feel fear when you're around a certain individual?
Ooh, PTSD.
Okay, PTSD. And so what is that emotion trying to communicate to you? Run, right? I need to feel what? Safe. And I don't feel safe. So that's why we don't need to suppress what we are feeling, because there's important information in how you and what you're feeling. You just have to question it. What do I need? What do I need to feel safe? Be away from this person. What do I need to feel safe in my relationships? I need boundaries. Implement boundaries. Okay? It says, what early childhood experience is connected to this emotion? So this is under the I in the reign of self-compassion. What early childhood experience is connected to this emotion? So let's say, for example, you struggle with social anxiety. How many of you struggle with social anxiety? Now I have to wonder, now is that experience connected to bullying in your childhood? How many of you have been bullied, in your childhood? And when you've been bullied as a kid, it makes you so self-conscious about you. I'm not pretty enough, I'm not black enough, I'm not white enough, I'm not just enough, right? I'm not smart enough. I'm not as talented as the other kids. I don't belong, I'm left out, no one loves me. These are the type of negative thoughts that we have. So, when you are experiencing social anxiety, try to connect. When did I first develop this? When did I first become fearful? My experience with social anxiety was that I had, it was developed in childhood, where I come from a family, we are church people. But I tell you, those church people used to kick my butt every Sunday. Lord have mercy, I had to fight. Had to fight my cousins, every Sunday. You just sit behind me and just pull my hair, jealous of my long, beautiful hair. I had to fight those people, okay? But I developed anxiety because when I'm it's Saturday, getting ready for church, and I'm just imagining up here, I'm gonna have to fight this one, this one, and this one. They don't come at you one at a time, they come as a group, So, these childhood experiences, if they're not addressed, it'll follow you into your childhood. But now that you're at this place, you have this anxiety, investigate. Where did it come from? What's the negative thought that's attached to this experience? What is the childhood experience that is driving this? What did I need in that moment? When I was being bullied, what I needed in that moment was some adults to care, to control their children. That's what I need. I needed adults to care. And there's something about being bullied as a kiddo. Nobody pays attention. I'm a kiddo. That's just children mess. What did y'all used to hear when you were going through it as kids? It's like the adults are just oblivious, to this type of bullying, right? They are oblivious. So what I needed in that moment was protection and security and safety. What did you need in the moments that you were bullied? Okay? What did you need? And what do I need right now in this moment to be okay? These are just some of the questions that we can ask emotions, but but you are empowered at this point that you don't have to run from another emotion. Tell it to sit down. Let's have a conversation. I'm not run from you. I'm not going to run from myself. Why? Because everywhere I go, there I go. So I can't eat on top of it. I can't drink on top of it. I'm going to face it. And you have a copy of RAIN, and I would encourage you to practice it. Every time that you have a difficult emotion, a difficult day, practice RAIN. And so now after you have asked yourself, you have completed R, the A, the I, the N. Now you move to the nourishing. You nourish with self-compassion. It's in this final step, offer yourself what you need. If you discover in the early steps, it indicates your need for support, peace, love, and connection with other people, then you offer what you need. Offer yourself what you need. And if we had this during the pandemic, if people were doing this during the pandemic versus drinking and whatever other unsafe behavior they were doing, I think that we would have been better off if people knew how to take care of themselves in isolation. It would have been better off. Okay? So it says, you silence the self-critic by simply offering yourself self-compassion, practicing RAIN on a daily basis. In the same compassion that you show to yourself, it transcends to your relationships, and it transcends to the community, and it transcends to the world. Okay? So thank you guys for letting me share.
Yeah. We're trying our very best to stay on time because we were given, a certain amount of time. We definitely don't want to go over that. Do anyone have any questions about the presentation and what Demitrius was saying about self-care and compassion? Many of you have the fuzzy stick. Did any of you make anything with that fuzzy stick? Let me see. If you held it up, if you just kind of looked at it and let it lay on the table, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. But if you made something with if you made something with your fuzzy stick, nice. Can you hold it up? Okay. She made a heart. Okay.
It's a ribbon.
It's a ribbon. Okay. Made a heart. Okay. Who else made?
She did right there in the yellow. Right there.
Maria.
In the yellow.
She made
She made a nice
ring.
Okay.
That is nice.
Okay. You made one as well. Okay. All right. Who else made something? Wow, look at this.
Oh, what is that for pina colada?
Wow.
Nice.
Look how creative. Look how creative. Right? Now, the same thing that you made with your fuzzy stick, what you made? A ribbon. Okay. Okay, you made a ribbon. You made a heart. Wow, nice. Now, the same thing that you made.
I made a Dr. Seuss thing.
Dr. Seuss. Now, the same thing that you made with your fuzzy stick. Can you get a marble for me? A stone? Get a stone for me. Get a stone for me. Help me with this. The same thing that you made with that fuzzy stick, the same thing that you made, remember what you made? Same thing you made with that fuzzy stick, now make with that stone.
I included the stone.
Forget a stone. The same thing you made, the same thing you made with your fuzzy stick, I want you to make that with your stone.
The stone is hard and rigid and we can't do it.
Throughout life, challenges will be thrown at you. You never know what's gonna happen. Whether that be finances, whether that be the death of a loved one, and because of that death, you go from 1 child to 5. Whether it be relationships, whether it be divorce, the loss of a job. But whatever those challenges are, you deal with those challenges. You learn to become in control of it. And you learn to make whatever it is that you need to make out of it. You learn to deal with it, okay? If someone get diagnosed with an illness, you know, you wasn't looking to wake up and someone in your family get diagnosed with an illness, but you learn to deal with it. It's just a part of life, okay? But then there are some things that are not in your control. They're not in your control. And it is what it is. You can't do anything with that. And so as we continue in our life and as we're going through life, we have to learn to look at life like that. There are just some things that we just cannot control. But the things that you do have control over, the things that you do, that you can change and you can manipulate, that is where your focus should be. Okay? I want to thank everyone today for your participation in mental health awareness. Whatever, you leave, when you're ready to leave here, remember that your mental health is important. How you treat others is important. Primarily, how you treat yourself is even more important. Okay? Do y'all have any questions about today? Can I do a giveaway? Can I do a giveaway? Miss Kathy Jones? Can we thank Miss Kathy for putting this together?
Juliet.
Juliet. You want to get it now or you want to get it after?
I'll get it after.
You get it after. Okay, let's get it. One, three more.
Meredith.
Meredith. All right.
Tanya.
Tanya.
Holly.
Holly.
Lisa.
Lisa. All right. So if your name was called and you want to grab a giveaway, please come up and do that for us, please. And if y'all have now the clinicians are here. If anyone would like to speak with them, you can speak with me. You can also speak with Demitrius. We also have some resources available to you over there. And if you, like I said before, if you want to see any of those therapists, any of the clinicians, including Demitrius or myself, please feel free to come up to any one of us, and we'll be more than happy to consult with you and give you resources or whatever else that you need. If your name was called, please come up and get your giveaway. If you would like it. If you don't want it, then maybe give it to someone else that you think would benefit from it. Okay? Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.